All right. Okay. It is 1 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon, not a Saturday afternoon. That's because I am slacking and messing up everything I'm working hard to obtain. Welcome, everybody. My name is Joseph Sunderman. I'm the Creative Tech, here to help other creative tech like-minded individuals like myself to really define and become the authority in our niche or whatever it is that we're doing, whatever our purpose or our ikigai is. We are helping each other understand what that is better and how we can work to help everybody, empower everybody to become, a mentor or an expert in their field, which gets us into today's session, which these are hour-long sessions. These shows here are essentially like what we do for a business. I'm practicing marketing using this tool to hopefully build an amazing army of technicians and account managers for my perceived future endeavor. So there's a lot to this, and yeah, you're not going to figure it all out in one setting. So if any of this sounds intriguing to you and you have questions, please feel free to ask. I'm here to help others understand what we're doing, because again, in today's society, it's all, I will help you if you give back to me. I need this thing. Let's barter. And that's great. And I love that mentality. And I love the open market. I love the fact that we encourage competition and we don't want monopolies. We want competitive pricing, and because all that does is help the consumer. It helps innovation. It helps so many things. We can get into all those things. If we have to talk to you at that level, well, this is a little bit further advanced. You need to be a little bit further along in your professional endeavor here. But again, if you feel like you are far and you're not aligning up properly, this is a great opportunity to align with some like-minded individuals. I know I'm on here 90% of the time, majority of the time, and I do try to have guests in here. I have 2 co-hosts that I work with a lot that will be here from time to time to help out. So anyway, again, this is just a session, an hour-long session for us to cover topics and things that help us become better professionals and empower others. Back to this whole bartering concept. We are a tribe. A tribe, really, there's bartering here. There is helping each other out, but we don't give and expect to receive. We give to make the tribe better. What can we do? What can we give to help make our group, our tribe, more powerful? How, when you hear someone say, "Hey, yeah, I love following the creative tech, and I'm a creative tech myself," to be, if that actually grows and becomes a thing, imagine the power behind having a tribe that truly understands that if you're part of the tribe and you need something, you just make out somewhere like caw, and then the other tribe members like, "Oh, we come and give you knowledge." That's pretty stupid, I know. But anyway, bottom line is I just want to help others grow and get to a level where they can. If I loved animals and animals was my thing, you'd be seeing nothing but, I'd have a farm and there'd be animals all around me, and I'd be bringing them up here, petting them, and talking about how you can keep them happy and healthy, and and how I go about my day to day, and hopefully giving you some ideas to help you get to where you want to be. But my thing is technology. It's not animals. So I'm not surrounded by animals. I'm surrounded by awesome technology. And when I say awesome technology, I mean Apple, Sony, Microsoft, just the biggest, Adobe. We got shit everywhere. I can start going through the list of apps along my bottom of my taskbar here, or my, what do they call this? The dock on Mac. I can go across here and just start naming off all these companies. Blackmagic. We got Final Cut, which is more of an Apple thing, I believe. Fruity Loops. A bunch of tech tools like NetScanner and Microsoft Edge, Safari, Facebook Messenger, 3CX for phone systems. Yeah, I mean, Discord, all these are professional tools. Acrobat, Suitcase Fusion for font management, remote control for Sony cameras. Just a plethora of brands out there. And these brands are building things to help people live a certain lifestyle. For me, all those brands I just listed off are because I'm really into technology. If I was into having a farm and taking care of animals, I'd probably know the best feed and what's best for my animals and how to best, get the most out of every penny I spend on their care, because I'm assuming having live animals and keeping them happy and healthy is not cheap. You find your thing and you start pushing towards it, and you're going to have experts, people that really understand what it is we're talking about. So that's today's session, by the way. I am all over the place as usual, but in the intro, I like to explain what sessions is, and we do a little catching up part. That's supposed to be the first 10 minutes. So we're 7 minutes in. Let's check against my checklist here, make sure I'm going through. So introduce the host. Yep, I said I'm here. I have a couple people are here sometimes, but they're not here today. It's just me flying solo. Explain the purpose of Creative Tech. Yeah, this is a lab. We're doing this to help Icora learn how to do marketing and messaging. Essentially, what I'm going to be doing is everything I'm learning and developing here, I need to have a system. Icora needs to make videos on a regular basis. Weekly, probably not. Live streams, probably not. These will be recorded and in post. They'll be edited and made clear and straight to the point. These live sessions, again, this is a starting point, and I know how sloppy it is. By the time these sessions get solid with 1 hour sessions, we should start having spotlight videos published on, a hardware or a software or a person. We started the live sessions just to have traction, a way to see the delta between where we started now and where we are a year into this, 2 years, 3 years into this. And right now, this is episode 14. We've been at this for 3 months and 2 weeks. That's how I internalize it in my head. 12 weeks is a quarter. We are a quarter into it. And I like to make big changes every quarter. So you'll see that we didn't start this on January 1st. So therefore, I'm not going to have our quarters where we started. I'm going to have the quarters fall in line with everything. The Master Tech Plan, which is our Icora's big thing. It's on a 3-year rotation. Everything I do, every company that aligns with Icora, we ask that they come on board with our quarterly lineup. We have some clients, their fiscal year is like, April 1st is their January 1st for their books. We do keep that in mind for those types of things, because we want to do the financial review the fourth quarter before we, go into, the new year. We need to have budgets after the next year and know what to ask, because a lot of these larger companies, they don't just wing it. They know what they're spending this next year, and they know what their projected growth should be based off of the current projections of things. And we're at that level with working with companies where they're at that level of going from winging it to forecasting. And that transition going from winging it to forecasting, there's a shift, there's a mindset shift that goes from, trying to handle everything the best you can with your principles and values, and then creating true systems to ensure the handling of things. So don't wing it, plan and execute, get good at your plan. So just because you make a plan and you go to execute it doesn't mean it's going to go according to plan. So an expert is somebody that truly understands that and understands that we got to make practical, realistic objectives and tackle them with grace and with consistency. Like if you have control over things on your side of everything, why not control what you can control? Because there's a lot we can't control. There's so much we can't control. What we can control is our plan and how we react when our plan is being messed with, or there's a hurdle, or there's a wrench thrown in a gear. You have to know how to handle that with confidence and make sure that you are prepared for those types of things. All right. So last week we talked about authenticity. Authenticity is important. And just like today's discussion on experts and why experts are so important to the overall, evolution of mankind, but where do they fall in place to the creative tech? We're the authority in the modern workforce, helping people embody the things that make us a modern workforce. Whether you're, mining coal or creating virtual portals to go to other worlds, whatever it is you do, there's some foundational principles, values that you keep at your core in order for you to be successful, in order for you to last, to be timeless. And we look at some of these companies that have done that already, and it's kind of crazy. So, so authenticity, being true to yourself, and what you do, and understanding what that truly means. There's a lot to it, but it's truth. And we talked about that in the session last week. Again, these sessions are a little bit sloppy, but when we talked about authenticity last week, we talked about how you got to be true to yourself. Don't worry. This is your personal brand. Then we have principles, which was the second topic. And we talked about how having principles, meaning your brand is good, and you can go work with a company that has a bad brand reputation or does things unethically, and your brand is still ethical as long as you hold true to yourself and your principles. And your principles you need to state that you want to be authentic and true and real, because you don't want to have people come to buy your shit and be able to smell bullshit and you be bullshitting them. If you're selling a turd, call it a turd. If you're selling a diamond, sell the diamonds. Don't sell a turd and call it a diamond. And you might be able to convince people of that, but at some point you're going to catch on, and it's a problem, everybody. It's a big problem. And so just be true. Like for me, iCore it's an MVP. It's a minimal viable product. It's in the stages of development, and it's a core concept, and it's an amazing concept, and I can't wait to get it registered and all that happy yada 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 bullshit. But at the same time, it has a lot of wants and needs to be this amazing high end. I don't go around telling everybody we already are. I go around telling everybody we have 40 businesses. Only a dozen of those have started to adopt the master tech plan, and some of them are aware they're adopting it, and others we're just doing it to help our services be better, our quality and our consistency and our confidence and our sanity. Christ, coming into the service desk and looking at a list of actual true matters that actually are relevant and present to today's needs, versus having hundreds of tickets in here. Some of them, the clients died and they're not even alive anymore for 3 years, and there's still a ticket in here to, get their password reset for their family members. We did it, but we never closed the ticket, and it's just sitting there, like, just the mayhem that you'll see in some places, and that's everywhere you go. It all starts with leadership. It all starts with your experts, which is why we're talking about experts today in today's session. Woo! I heard it. Okay, so we're going to talk about the impact that experts have. We're going to talk about what mentorship really is and how it is all about evolution, baby. And then we're going to talk about growth. How do we spread our lovely disease of humanity across this planet to where we eat this planet up and get in a little ship and go on to the next planet and eat it all up. Then from that planet, we'll probably split off to 2 different planets and eat them both up. And then 4 from those planets and eat them up. Oh, it's a glorious future ahead of us. I can't wait to see them get there. Imagine our collective knowledge base. How many times do you think humans have come into existence and gotten to a point where we all just died due to the sun exploding and all the shit get sucked into a black hole, whatever it may be, and then we're born again, and then we evolve to a point where now we're able to travel from planet and spread from planet, and then we get wiped out again. Are we on our first iteration of this? I mean, we've been around for billions of years. How many times could have human evolution happened throughout the galaxy and dissipated? How far have we gotten in the past? Have we gotten so far to where we got into teleportation and things of that nature, and all of a sudden some big space event ate all that up, and only fragments of us landed on this planet that was freshly growing? And that, it's kind of crazy that we can spend so much energy wondering what if, and people that actually are practical with their, feet on the ground are like, well, let's play around. Let's see if we can't make things happen with what we have. Now we have electricity. Now we have the internet. Now I can have a video conference with somebody halfway across the world, and it's clear, and we can see body language. It's just, none of this would happen if we didn't have experts. Somebody that learned how to, just the very science of some of the things that we use today and the way things work. It's all logical. It's all very practical. The mathematics of things, the patterns that people see is crazy to me. So let's go ahead and quit babbling just to babble. Let's go ahead and get into our focus, which is supposed to be a 5-minute conversation. But yeah, why did we choose the focus of experts? Well, because we want to learn about what an expert for the creative tech is. When we are experts here, what we're calling experts at the creative tech, that's the highest level you can be as a creative tech. And to explain that a little bit more, let's go ahead and let me find my document here. You would think I'd have all this pulled up before our session started and be ready to go, but I don't have that kind of time for prep for these things, which I want to get to that point, and we'll get there, I'm sure, but it's not today. Overview of a creative tech. All right, so for all you out there, what I've done to help us align on this is I've created this here Word document. That's the wrong Word document. That's today's agenda, by the way. This is the Creative Tech Overview. Come on. Oh, here we go. Look at that. Your role as a creative tech. As a driving force behind the creative tech tribe, your curiosity and aspirations bring value to others as an influencer and is paramount to our success. Our advanced members embody the intersection of technology expertise and creative vision. Our role involves sharing our unique insights, experiences, and strategies that leverage technology for personal and professional growth. We act as mentors and thought leaders, drawing from our own journey and expertise in technology empowerment for meeting our goals. So we have 4 levels here at the Creative Tech. The beginner, what we also call applicants. This is a free platform. We're always going to be free. These videos will be giving you some form of, free value, I hope. Talking in general, if you ask a question right now, I can give value in that way. There's a lot of value that you're going to get from being a part of the tribe, especially when we get engaged with the social media aspects of it. Currently, we have a Facebook group, but there's no activity going on there. We're not there yet. We are still trying to get good at the actual branding and the marketing side of that to get the messaging going smooth, to get these shows going smooth, to get a few spotlight videos done. Like all that's coming. And I'm not someone that just says these things and then it comes. I'm somebody that says, hey, I want to do this, and this is the route I'm going to take. Feel free to follow along as we go. And that's exactly what this show is. So if you follow along, you're going to see us build this platform, and we're going to figure out the way to get people to understand our levels for creative techs here. So the goal of this, again, we're in seasons here. This first season, we're not going to get to experts anytime soon. But I think it's a good time to start talking about it because it's somewhere where we're headed. And we want to know what we know about it today. So when we do have it figured out, we can look back and say, okay, back on June 9th's episode or June 8th's episode, which was done on June 9th because somebody's getting a little bit of a burnout here. And it's not just on the creative tech. This is overall in general. You start setting up systems and you get this, you get comfortable and you're not so much in it anymore. You're just walking, you're going through the motions. When you start going through the motions, that's when things start falling off the plate. That's a bad problem, which burnout is a real thing. And I think, I was talking to Will Story when he came by. He grabbed a couple of lenses to use for a shoot he's got coming up. And if you're a creative tech and you're working with the tribe and you're at the level that Will is, we work to make the tribe better. I'm not giving him these lenses, but I'm allowing him to use them. And if something happens to him, he knows that he's to replace it. And I feel confident that he would make that right. You always got insurance and things of that nature. But again, I hope he doesn't get me into a position where I got to go sue his ass because that would really fucking suck. And as long as you play your cards right and you have your ducks in a row and you're doing things to the level I'm trying to get everybody to do things. Yeah. Even if he was like, took off with it and busted it and never called me back. And then it was like, fuck you. Like my insurance company would go after him. We would show the things and there would be a civil suit and we'd take care of it. There's no need to do knee-jerk reactions. There's no need for me to get mad and go kick his ass. There's no need, the hillbilly ways of doing things. This is all about being an expert. And being an expert doesn't mean just knowing your craft, but it's also knowing how to work with others. A creative tech expert is not both good. They're not just good at hardware and software. They're also good with soft skills with working with people. And I don't care if you're extroverted or introverted. You're either good with working with people or you're not. And if you're not, there's some coaching that can be done to help you, navigate that and have more powerful communication skills. I'm telling you guys right now, as I become an expert at being an expert for experts, what I'm learning is that we all have different agendas. We all have our own personal brand identity that we need to uphold. If you work for somebody else and they ask you to do something unethical, your brand is still good. The brand that's ethics that are on the line that are in question would be those that are asking to do the thing that is malicious or not, ethical. And the second you make the decision to pull that trigger or to execute whatever it is they're asking you to execute, knowing it's not in line with your best interest or your ethics, they're not good ethics. The second you engage and execute that, you've messed up your personal brand. And that's sad to me to see that companies put their employees in positions to do that. And it's easy to do now because a lot of the employees, as long as they have their check, you just tell them what to do, they'll do what they need to do. For me, it's important to understand the why we're doing what we're doing. If they don't understand the why, or if they don't have any care to understand the why, they're not in it. They're not here. They're not present. And to truly be present, you'll see this at any fast food restaurant you go to. I shouldn't say any. You'll see this difference easily in a fast food restaurant. Managers at these places, it's up to them to uphold the procedures, the processes. You can see when the counters are clean, even during the busy lunch hour. The floors mopped and clean through the day. Like you can see the places that take care of their facility and their kitchen and their restaurant and clean up after the customers. A lot of that times that comes with the industry you're in, or the area you're in. So there's so much to this world. Just be a decent human. And when you're on the clock for somebody, that's your opportunity to show that your brand can work with other brands to make something happen. If you're framing it as, oh, well, I don't really want to be here. This is just McDonald's. It's just a stupid job. I'm going to play on my phone as much as I can because my manager does it. That's a problem to me, because you are now allowing your personal brand to be as valuable as that McDonald's operation. So today's focus, we're talking about experts in the creative tech world. A novice is somebody that is still a student and somebody that wants to get information from what we provide, but they're also willing to pay for a session to get a little bit quicker ahead. So we call those novices, or our students. And we want to make it stupid, affordable, and cost effective for them. And right now we're in a season where we aren't charging anything because we're still learning what it takes to give good impact to where we can get to the point where we can say, hey, we've been helping you out. The free stuff's been going great. Now that you're getting further along, you're really getting as much as you can out of the free stuff. It's time for you. You can now become a novice and start having sessions, a paid session on a regular basis, some kind of subscription where you get paid sessions on a regular basis with one of the creative techs. When we get you to the confident level, which is past novice, the confident level is somebody that's, you get paid for doing sessions and you're still needing to do sessions for yourself because you're still growing. This is where we put you in the confident level. And I do need to find a better name for that. But once we get to the fourth and final level, expert, that's where you're now on payroll. You basically have a creativetech.ai email address. You get paid and you're helping with projects and sessions, and it's awesome. So that's what an expert is today. We're going to talk about why they're so important to the creative tech. We'll get into those topics now that we're 30 minutes into it. Check. What have I missed? What have I done right? What have I done wrong? Let's see. So far today, I think I've explained that this is a lab with a purpose. We're building this thing out to get technicians and account managers for the future, and learning how to market for Icora through the creative tech. That way, when we do go over here and start marketing Icora, we hit the ground running because we know what works and what doesn't work. Great. Catching up 5 minutes. I explained this is episode 14. We did a recap of authenticity to some degree, and really didn't talk about current projects and future projects. I know that Will's excited about Bonnaroo coming up. Cole is, I think he got a new job and there's some crazy, he's just been really busy, got family stuff going on. He still has some family business. So Cole's obviously a busy man. And I explained to you guys the focus. How can this focus help the community? Well, we're aligning the audience. That's all it's all about. That's as long as we get the audience aligned. If somebody's not aligned, that and not being aligned means, oh, I really want to do this project. I need help getting this project done. I want to know how to do this thing. I'm not aligned because I don't know how. I need help with a how or what to do. So you get with the creative tech, we have a session, we get you lined out, get you on your path, and you're off to the races. Right now, those sessions are free. Please schedule your free session. Kudos and bonus points if you go to you join the tribe and you align with the form. To have a good session, we want you to fill out the alignment form. And we'll get into that in a minute when we get to the community discussion, which I think we'll probably already should be there. So we have 10 minutes for this, 15, 20, 25 minutes. So 25 minutes into it, we should have gotten to this point. We should have talked about the impact of the experts in the creative tech. And we kind of did to some degree. We talked about what the focus is, experts, and we talked about the impact, which is topic number 1. I didn't have bullet points yet, and I had time. We can talk about that here in a second. This was It's been a week. It's been a week. All right. Community discussion. Let's go ahead and dive into that shit. Because what are these experts? Why do we need these experts? What are they good for? Well, is that music annoying? That music's been going this whole time. Did I turn it down at least? God, these shows are getting worse and worse. I need help, people. All right. So let's get into community discussion. Experts are here to help out with creative techs that need to get to the next level. They might have a problem with a project they're working on. They might want to learn a new skill, or they don't know what camera to get or what computer to buy. You know, get your tech stack solid. We look at these things by creating some foundational points, and to start this all off, we wanted to make sure we're aligning everybody. So we have what I call, let's see here. Where are you? Come here. Yep, you. So let's go ahead and check in. We go to tribe.creativetech.ai to take us straight to the group. And we look at the group and we can see a lot of activity going on in here. And go look at our growth. Have we got anybody else? We're still stuck at 28 people. We got one membership request. Approve Mr. Rob Richardson. Mr. Rob Richardson is actually pretty cool. He runs a disrupt. He's all about disruption, people. And I think that's fucking dope. So what he's doing is he's disrupting the workforce. He's wanting to get in here and make sure that we're all using AI ethically, and he's throwing a huge convention. This, it's basically the South by Southwest here in Cincinnati. It's called the Midwest Con, and I believe it's in September. And I'm working with him. I'm hoping to become a part of his community. And we met at a AI conference, a monthly conference that's held here in Cincinnati. We both spoke at this thing, and he is actually really, really cool, and love the energy that he brings. He seems very, bottom line, he's an entrepreneur, just like I am, and he sees patterns and builds things out and wants to help with what it is that we're doing. In fact, based off my conversation with him, he has a podcast and a show and does things. And when I showed him what we're building here, like, for instance, those of you that watch this that care to any degree, like this right here is my show tracker. It's basically a glorified spreadsheet online that I can just share with people that help with the show, and they can get in here and see what the agenda is for that show. They can see the description for it, the topics for it, what we're talking about as far as the focus goes. They can put their notes in here, and we have these in weeks in advance, and they can say, hey, well, I want to be on this show, or I can't be on that show, I got to shoot this week. Building a system like this to allow others to collaborate, I wanted to do that from the ground up, building it with just 365 with minimal skill set, to show a team, a small team, that by building systems together and staying focused, present, and being authentic, we can build anything. That's powerful. So, since we can build anything we want to build, I want to build a tribe full of amazing people that is very creative, that makes amazing art, whether it's with computers or they just use computers to share their art. That's a big one for me. I love the artists that are using these analog, like the chalk people and the paints and the waxes and just doing stuff. But you can tell they're using high-end technology to share their craft. Modern technology isn't here just for us to do our day-to-day. It's here to communicate. It's a communication tool that's far beyond anything else. So Having a tool like the Creative Tech here, we currently have just the 14th show in here, which is algorithm, or the 15th show is algorithm. That's how far we are. We got next week's show in here already to some degree. We have the topics, the description, we have the agenda here. It's scheduled for June 15th. If we look at the topics that we have down here, oh, did I not save that the other day? I must not have saved it. So I am making another show. It's going to be called, and let me go ahead and put that in here while we're here. I missed the show yesterday. I was helping my wife with the garage sale, and about 1:30, 1:20 something, I look down at my watch and I see what time it is. I'm like, oh my God. I got so comfortable, caught up in the stresses with the home, getting the yard sale together because the wife wanted to sell some shit. We made $300 in the yard sale. Shit I was going to throw away or give to Goodwill. Good job, wife. Anyway, looking at my watch, it's 1:20 something. Oh my God. Oh, we drop everything, get downstairs, do it right now. But we're wrapping up and picking up for the end of the garage sale, and we have to go to a birthday party at 2. If I start the show right there on the money, my wife's going to be livid because we had to wait an extra half hour. We're late to the birthday party for her good friend. That's not good. So I caught myself in a state of panic. Like, oh my God, I'm not doing the show right now. I'm letting myself down. Everything I do, I'm letting everything down. I'm a failure. I panicked. So I decided to take a deep breath, ask the wife what the agenda was for the rest of the day. You know, my son, there was a car show he wanted to go to, and his mom's wanting me to take him home early on Saturday instead of Sunday. So I'm like, oh my God, how can I squeeze this? I panicked. Like I said, I'm sitting here freaking out. How do I keep everything aligned? And I said, you know what? No, this is great. This is authentic. This is you fucking up. And now what you got to do is be honest with everybody. Say, hey, here's what you did. You messed up. Now, every week it's been like clockwork. I've been coming to the basement on Saturday morning, grinding for an hour or two, getting the show ready, and then having the show. I took an opportunity when we had a 3-day weekend a couple weeks back, and I got a few shows done for advance so that we're ahead of it. And last week was the first show we had last week was the first week we had where we had a show pre-done, and it was really nice. I actually was able to take that hour before the show and actually prep for the show a little bit, even though it was still a hot fucking mess because of all the stresses going on. So that was really comfortable. It almost made me feel like, oh, I almost forgot. I should still do a few things for next week. I had to create a show and do this and that. So I came up with the term burnout this week because, or the focus this week of burnout, because I feel what happened was, and Will called me out on this. He's like, yeah, your head's not in it. You're going through the motions now. And he's right. That's a form of burnout. And I was like, well, since we're building this show out to be part of the show, that's what that's going to be the focus for the next show is burnout. That's great. That meets us where we are. It's relevant to today's stance on the show. And we need to talk about it. We need to be aware of it. We're going to talk about it. So I'm throwing that into the mix. And it's as simple as doing that. Once we have an idea for a show, put it in here, done. And, exit grid view. Now, it won't be put up here at the top until we know when we're going to talk about it. Right now, we're having this show today. Next week is algorithm, and I'm looking forward to that show. But there's a good chance that down the road we would push this algorithm up because burnout would make more sense of the now and push that into next week's episode. And that works out because algorithm would work really well with working with Rob Richardson and talking in a session with us. That would push that one out to the following Saturday where he probably could join for that and have a really good session. But because I'm such a stickler for things like, your salary, like being seniority, your seniority rules. If you're the first one here and you've been grinding away with us, and we hire somebody that's way more experienced than you still have more say than they do in this company because you've been here and you've been fighting with us longer and you've put up with my ass longer. Therefore, they might be getting more money or might have more responsibility than you because of what's going on as far as their work day goes, but they will not have and just like here, when we set something in stone, I stick to my guns. I don't want to come in here and change algorithm to be another date now. That since once it's set in stone here, it's done. And honestly, I probably could change it here, but I haven't even scheduled it on StreamYard or anything else yet, so that's kind of cool. But anyway, that's where we are with the shows, and that's explain to you guys hopefully a little bit about why we have Burnout coming up in the lineup for our 16th episode. This is the 14th. Next week we're talking about algorithm. The week after that it'll be Burnout. So that way you guys can see how the shows are going and see how they line up. And why are we talking about experts today? We're talking about experts today because of our lovely creative tech. Join the tribe. Let's see all the. Now, not everybody here is part of the tribe. Chris Doe doesn't even know the tribe exists. Neither does Alex or my boy, Mr. Ging here. Simon Sinek. I hope to have him on the show eventually. I like to have all these people on the show. I know Chris Doe and this Matthew Encina. I know they've worked together quite a bit in the past. I think they still do work together to some capacity, which is really cool. I'd love to see what their client list looks like. Myself and Cole were in the tribe, but a lot of these people here are not their actual influencers that we brought into here. This spreadsheet actually started off with just the influencers that we watch. We were going to load them in here, but then I was like, what if we put ourselves in here? We can align them with the creative text that we like to watch. And now I was like, oh, better idea. What if we have everybody fill out a form and we take their information and dump it into here? That way we can align them when we do sessions with them. This would be a really cool tool and fun thing to do with them. We could learn so much just by having the conversation as a creative tech around these things. By knowing our principles and our values and our mission, having a list of creative techs that embody what we call the creative tech and have people fill out an alignment form to get them in the list so we can go over with, that all makes practical, great sense to me. So that's what we did. We created a list, and now you can we've asked one person, my friend Charlie Hall. I asked him to fill this out. Charlie, thank you so much for taking the time out to answer those 26 questions. And when he did that, you can see a lot of these ones that we put in here, like for these guys, like we didn't know what their primary areas of interest are. We can guess to that. But this column is for people that filled out that form. So this column wasn't here for these guys, but will be for the people that do the alignment form. Level of okay. Their confidence level on creative tech. He put himself as a 5. Okay. Level of primary area of interest. Are you a 1 or a 10? And he's saying he loves, and just so you all know, he did consent to sharing. Ooh, did he say we could share something? Let's go check out the alignment form and figure that out. So when you fill out this alignment form, if you go to align.creativetech.com, it's all in the description. Just read the description. But step 1, join the tribe. Step 2, get aligned. Step 3, schedule your free session. If you do steps 1 and 2 first, it gives us a great starting point to have some great questions to ask you and have a really good, powerful session. If you just jump straight to scheduling a session, no harm, no foul. We are just going to not be as, we're going to spend quite an amount of time answering questions, or finding answers to some questions that we need to know. Like just filling out the form, even if you don't submit it, filling it out will help you during our session, if that makes sense. So, if we look at our responses, wait, what form are we on here? Yeah, we'll go here. Nope, wrong button. Click responses here. All right. I'm downloading a copy of the file. Woo, that's ugly. Come here, you. All right. So, yeah, see, I'm happy to share my journey. So, he did say yes, but for some reason, this answer did not come over from the form to here. Huh. That's weird. Anyway, so this form right here, what we want people to do is fill out the alignment form, and it'll allow them to, it allows us to take their interests and line them up with other creative techs. Imagine us having, we've only added a few people that we like in here. We need to go through and start adding more and more and do our research to fill out because again, we don't know what their primary areas of interest are, but with AI being here and asking them to do their best to look at, this influencer and give us the best answer they can with their primary area of interest, as we categorize these things and get everything aligned the best we can. And hopefully we get some of the people that are in this list down the road to like what we're doing. And we want to do this in a very ethical way. Yeah. It's all about sharing the knowledge and making the world better. This is my small attempt at having a big impact. This is on the individual side. This is on personal development side. On professional development side, on the professional development side, we're talking about leadership skills, contemporary leadership skills. How do you use modern tactics and frameworks to stay happier, more positive, and to actually make big impacts on culture? So that's where we are with creative tech. We still have a lot of work to do. You know what an expert is now. We've talked about the impact of the of what a creative tech is, but hopefully the second topic here, which is mentorship, That's pretty easy. And I've been talking about that this whole time. Again, we have a structure to the show. We're trying to stick to the structure of the show, have a solid 1 hour valuable session on experts. What is an expert? For the creative tech, what is an expert? How do they help us? What does that mean? Did we cover that? Did we talk about the impacts that creative techs have on the world? They have a huge impact. We don't evolve unless somebody takes the time to become an expert in something and shares that information in a way that the next generation can read their knowledge or watch videos, read books. You know, the technology we have now, the way we can frame and explain things so much more smoothly and without friction today, giving someone a great roadmap to get them from point A to point B when there's a lot of stops on the way. Like, there's a lot to this, and we can't get there without helping each other. So mentorship is huge in society. And in our tribe, our experts, think about that. We have our tribe. We have our, subject matter expert in color grading, subject matter expert in playing guitar, subject matter expert in painting with, water paints. I don't know. Just across the board, just amazing things. And what a subject matter expert is, when you have a subject and whatever that matter is, you have yourself an expert to understand it from top to bottom, corner to corner, from corner to corner. If you don't have mentorship, if we're not sharing the information, we plateau. If we plateau, there is no more growth. How do we ensure the things we're doing the ways we do them? How do we ensure our kids grow up to have opportunities to take the torch? Do we sit back and just take it easy and tell them, hey, listen, look at all this amazing technology around you. Take it easy. We made it. We're here. We're still looking for the answers to the truths of the stars, the heavens. Are we spirituals beings roaming a planet in another dimension, and when we die, we go to another place? Could be. I don't know. Now, I'm not an atheist. My wife claims to be an atheist. I am agnostic. I don't know. I'm open, and I feel very spiritual. I'm telling you, when I tripped on, I don't know if I should talk about those things. I've had experiences. I did dabble in substances when I was younger. I mean, so didn't Steve Jobs and other, great minds that think alike. I by no means am I any kind of. I don't. How many different Steve Jobs have there been out there that didn't have the right guidance, the right upbringing? How many things have to happen to people in a negative, bad light to make them the person they have to be the next whatever big thing it is. I mean, Elon Musk grew up around money, and yeah, he's a very smart individual guy, but think about those kids that have way more skill and talent than Elon Musk, that are probably way more peculiar, but because they're growing up in some dark corner of the earth, they'll never reach their full potential. That drives me nuts, knowing that we have so many great people coming into this planet, and we only focus on a small few that not based off of capabilities, not based off of intellect. It's based off of who you know and what you know. And can you stick, can you, where were you born in the game and where you placed? And what I'm trying to do is get us to grow as a whole. Like, AI is here. At what point do we quit allowing people to starve and sleep on streets? I'm not saying that we need to give everybody iPhones and houses and say, hey, we got it made, this is the solution. No, I don't know what the solution is. There's a human element to all of this, and I think with us using technology wisely, we can have a decent experience for every human being on this planet. And my focus is just ensuring that everybody I work with in my circles is growing. As long as there's growth, that's all that matters. And that's our third topic today. That's why I'm kind of wrapping up, coming to this final topic of growth. And what does it truly mean to grow as a creative tech? And for me, I'll tell you right now, my personal growth on my personal journey, where I am today, it's not easy for me even. It's not easy for anybody. Anybody that does this, that puts on some kind of, that's why I want to be authentic here. I cuss. I like to, I'm a recovering drug addict. I still take Suboxone. I am on medical marijuana daily. I like to think that I can control myself and keep my composure at all times. I do still get frustrated and worked up, but it's nowhere like it used to be. I can compartmentalize things much easier now, and when things do seem really bad, I used to get really mad and frustrated and not know how to work things out. But now that I quit doing knee-jerk reactions, I look at the big picture and I think about how can I frame this, like, moving forward. If you're on a phone with somebody, you say, well, if we don't do this, I'm going to ultimatum this or that. You know, that's not operating at your top performance. That's not you being the best you. Hey, Jim Bob, last week I know there was some conflict with XYZ, and I know we both have wants and needs here. What I'd like to do is find a solution for both of us to grow and walk away from this thing happy, and to where we could have another client that needs help and we'd be able to work together again. Is that something that you think we can do? You know, it's all about approach. It's all about framework. And I wasn't growing when I was just being shitty with everybody when they didn't align, just giving them ultimatums. I did get results. I am here today, and it does work to some degree. But if you got, I call them boundaries. Put some boundaries up for yourself and make sure they're around being able to work and live happily, and watch what happens to you and your team. If you stay truly focused on the core things, and it takes practice. You're going to think you had it right the first time, the fifth time, but at some point it's going to come back and bite you. Like, oh shit, no, I wasn't truly authentic. That's how that came back and bit me. Yeah. So, experts in the realm of the creative tech. As a creative technologist, your role is simple. Trust your personal brand and be authentic. Ensure you're merging your brand into the company's brand well. And you also have to manage how you interact your brand with other individual brands. This is where it starts to get a little bit complicated. It is simple, but you stay true in order of hierarchy. Be authentic and true for yourself. Keep your morals and values and never let your company or anybody else question or change those. Then your company's brand, the one that's providing for you and your family until you can stop clocking in because you have your own business income coming in. Until then, when you clock in for that provider, you're on their time, and your brand is now in their possession and letting them use it to get done what needs to get done. But you still have control. You can always say, I'm not doing that, and things. What you do for the brands you work with is very important, and set some boundaries for yourself. All right. So I am really sorry about yesterday. I know there's nobody watching this at this point, but for me, I just, future Joseph Sunderman ever comes back and watches this for this 14th episode, where you know how life can get crazy at home. Your personal brand is being poked at and messed with by all different areas of the world. And, you know, I know who I am, and I'm a great father, a great husband, and I love my family. And don't worry, nobody's dying or nothing dramatic is happening. It's just, life is stressful. I don't care who you are. Family dynamics, especially when you have a blended family with 6 kids. You know, you got Mina and I are adults here. Then you have my baby mamas, which is Elizabeth and Melissa. We have to align with them, and then we also have to align with Greg and Dana on Mina's side, and that's 6 adults that have to align to make these 6 kids happy. And I can tell you that Mina and I don't exactly go with the grain. You know, we're more liberal facing, and some of these other families are very conservative, which causes issues. But Mina and I, we know who we are, and we love who we are, and we are doing our best to uphold our household, because that's, like, again, you qualify your brand, your personal brand identity. When you're married, you're no longer, like, I still have my individuality, I still have my identity. My wife does too, but we are one. And whatever happens, like, whatever I do to my brand affects her brand, and vice versa. And from our home standpoint, all those other parents can have say-sos in their households, and in our household, we get to dictate. So what we do in our household is you respect the parents in the other household. You will have your own. You're accountable for your actions. We can't control whether you're going to cuss, whether you're going to go against the grain and do what we tell you not to do. We can't control that. Well, all we can do is control what we control. We control what we provide you. And if you want to mess with us and not adhere to our expectations and our boundaries, you know, we're not happy about it. We don't want to see you going down that rabbit hole. But if that's your choice, that's your choice. We will be docking and tracking and holding you accountable. I think if we had more of that in our family homes, I think we would see a lot more different outcomes in the workplaces today. I think we've lost something here. What it came down to is babies having babies. And when babies have babies, there's nobody really raising anybody. You get to especially with society today, you know, everybody wants to work at McDonald's or some fast food joint and play on their phone while they're working and do a half-assed job. Like, that's me being very cynical. Like, I know it's not like that everywhere, but I see it a lot in the middle income and down. So, all right, I'm going over. I need to wrap up. So, everybody, there's 3 steps to this. If you're watching, please just tickle me. Go to don't tickle me. I'll punch you in the face, because it's not, I don't want to punch you in the face. It's just that my body is like, it turns into a ninja when you start tickling me. I don't like it. Whew. All right. For shits and gigs, tribe.creativetech.ai. If you haven't already, sign up, join the tribe. Align, get aligned. Let us know truly what you think. Tell me I'm full of shit. Tell me how awesome you are and how full of shit I am. Or tell me how awesome I am and how full of shit you are. Ooh, I like that. That definitely tickles me. Don't get punched. All right. And then third and finale requestee from me. Sessions. Wouldn't you love an hour of dealing with this, telling you how you should get your shit together? And yeah, I should make that in your session. Would you like me to be rude? Would you like me to be polite, professional, and courteous? Or would you like me to be insulting and talk down on you like the dog you are? Ooh, I might actually make a lot more money doing that one. All right, I'm being really stupid now. I need to get off here. I love your faces, you sick bastards. Do me a favor. Continue to keep it heavy, and as always, keep it real. I'm Joseph Sunderman. Thank you for joining the Creative Technologists today on our Sessions for Experts, and we will see you next time.